Hey tubers, and welcome to another Sunday here on Pagan Perspective. I'm your host Austin, and this week's topic is the Autumnal Equinox. Okay, so in my practice, the Autumnal Equinox I refer to as Mabon, as many Wiccans do. And for me, it is a kind of like a Thanksgiving. I kind of think of this as my Thanksgiving time of the year more than the typical American Thanksgiving time. It is the second harvest festival on the Wiccan Wheel of the Year, and for me, it is a time to celebrate the things that we have been given or the gain that we have received over the past year, whether that be from the earth in the form of a harvest of fruits and vegetables or herbs, or whether that be monetary gains or spiritual gains or educational gains. I don't have a garden. I don't really have much harvest from the earth per se, but I do have a lot of games in education and in spirituality and the YouTube community. I definitely will celebrate the and give thanks for the wealth of friends that I have made on here, the wealth of friends I've made in school, and the knowledge that I've come to, and also my spiritual journey over the past year. And along with that, in this time of year, I always do something along the lines of sort of give thanks and ask for or make a pledge or a promise sort of thing. And this year, thanks to Kara, I've decided to do a wishing star spell, and I've been working on that for the last couple of days. Every once in a while I'll take a strip of paper, and if you haven't seen the video, check it out. It's a really cool thing to do, and it's easier than I thought. So I take a strip of paper, I think it was 1/2 inch by 8 and 11. That's the paper I have, at least, and that seems to work pretty well. And I'll write something I'm thankful for, and then on the other side I will write sort of a mini spell. So maybe it's giving thanks for thanks for my car that my father bought, and then also asking that it runs well in the next year, and that we don't have problems with it, something along those lines. Or even, giving thanks for spiritual gifts, and then also putting on there what spiritual gifts I'm going to work on in the next year. And when I say year, I mean the 365 year. So that's kind of how I look at Mabon. It's a time for celebration, wine, good friends, good meal, just like we do with Thanksgiving in America. So with the stars, I haven't exactly decided what I'm going to do with them after or during the ritual to represent the release of the energy and all of that. I'm considering burning them, maybe burying them. I'm not really sure. Maybe some of you have some creative ideas on how to do that. What I'm referring to is those of you who are familiar with spell work, you'll know that there's generally a build-up or an increasing and a storing or a raising of energy, and then once the spell is worked, you release the energy into the universe so that it can do your working or that sort of thing. So I'm still creating the way that I'm going to work that. And generally, my Mabon festivities and my Mabon ritual, I usually will do some sort of meal. And there has been times I did attend a ritual once where the potluck meal, for those of you who maybe don't have a community, generally when pagans get together, at least the ones I've been to, it's usually a potluck affair. There's always food. Who doesn't love their food? So I've been to some rituals where food is a part of the ritual at this time of the year. Maybe maybe there's a sharing of certain foods during the ritual, separate from the sort of cakes and wine section of the ritual. Also, this time of year, since it is a equinox, there's a balancing of the light and the dark. So from this time forward into Samhain and Yule, the days will become shorter, which generally marks more time spent indoors. So for me, this time is also a great time of year to do some cleaning, much like spring cleaning, but autumn cleaning, because you're going to be spending more time inside, just clean things out, take care of things now while the weather is still good, before the days get shorter, kind of wrapping things up for the winter. And so there's that aspect to it as well. Along with that is also recognizing the balance of energies and the balance of the light and the dark, and also celebrating the necessity of the balance of the light and the dark, of male and female, of I don't want to use good and bad, but those of us who are familiar with nature know that nature is is destructive and creative, and without that, without the destruction, it cannot be creative. Without the creativity, it cannot be destructive. So nature is balance, and I don't want to label those good and bad, because I don't think that those are necessarily good and bad. It's just a fact of life. So I definitely take the time to acknowledge the balance, and to also acknowledge the separation of energies, or excuse me, not the separation of energies, but the separate energies, the light with the dark, the death with the rebirth, the creation with the destruction. All those things must be in balance in order for life to exist. So that's a little bit about my practice and how I view Mabon and how I view the autumnal equinox. And I really look forward to hearing all of the other hosts and how they celebrate. I'm always looking to add new and interesting ideas to my practice. And maybe next week I'll do a quick update on what I did for the autumnal equinox, and also how maybe I incorporated some of their ideas as well as your ideas. If you have an interesting way that you celebrate Mabon, or that you celebrate the autumnal equinox, make a comment, do a video response even, and let us know. Let us know what you're doing and how you view it, and what's important about this season to you. So until then, I will see you next week. Bye.